There have been whispers. A boy up in Windhelm, name of Aventus Aretino, been trying to contact the Dark Brotherhood.
Really? You, an innkeeper in a quiet village, just so happen to know about some random kid halfway across the country who is trying to summon the Dark Brotherhood? And not only that, but this is the first rumour you think to share with us?
Ain't much else to tell.
The Dark Brotherhood are a shadowy cult of assassins spread throughout Tamriel. Many know of their reputation and fear and loathe them for it, at least until such a time comes when they require their services. Part of what makes this concept interesting is their mysterious nature. In Oblivion you might hear the name mentioned from time to time, but the player won't have a direct encounter with them until they take the life of an innocent. Only then will one of their speakers reveal themselves with an offer. This is a great way to start a questline because it fits so well within the context of the story and world building. A shadowy group of assassins are expected to operate under literal cloak and dagger, but with Skyrim it feels like the developers knew of the popularity of the guild in the previous game and wanted to make it blatantly obvious as to how players get to do the content again. I imagine the storyboard meeting went something like this. Alright team, we know players love the Dark Brotherhood quests from Oblivion, so we want to recapture what made them good. Any ideas? Let's have it so the first rumour the player hears when visiting the first inn in the game starts a quest to join the Dark Brotherhood. Oblivion gave too much choice with a massive list of people eligible to kill to start the quest. Best to make sure there's only one way to do it. How about we make the Guild of Assassins, act like assassins and be kind of low-key about how they operate, and not want news of some random kid trying to summon them spread throughout the country, as this could draw unwanted attention and jeopardise their entire operation. The idea for Aventus to perform the Black Sacrament and then mistaking the Dragonborn for an assassin and getting them to do the deed before the Brotherhood can isn't inherently a bad idea, because by doing this the Brotherhood feel robbed of their kill and have a reason to seek out the Dragonborn, and the story can progress from there. But the most likely way the players find out about this quest is so ham-fisted, it almost feels like the game is breaking the fourth wall and just saying, look, if you want to do the Dark Brotherhood, here's how to start it. The rumour should only have been in Windhelm, and even then, there should be no mention of the Dark Brotherhood, only that Aventus has been acting strange. So what would be the better way of introducing the questline in Elder Scrolls 6? I believe the best way would be to be purposeful, but still somewhat obscure, not being able to stumble on it by accident like in Oblivion, but not laying loaf-sized breadcrumbs like in Skyrim. Maybe something like this. You walk into a new town for the first time. Nothing is out of the ordinary, it's just like any other town. On a notice board there is a wanted poster for a notorious bandit chief who has a camp not far from town. A handsome reward in gold is to be paid to whomever brings the bandit's head. Speaking to the townspeople clues you in on the crimes and atrocities committed by the brigand. You go out to the camp, fight through the bandits and slay the chief, bringing their head back to the town guard to claim your reward. You pass an old woman in the street after. She thanks you for taking care of the bandit. You decide to engage her in conversation, where she says she can sleep a little easier at night knowing the bandits have been taken care of, but she has another problem relating to her daughter. She asks you to meet her at her home in the evening. You enter the lady's home at night as she asked. You sit with her and she talks about how her daughter is having marriage troubles. Her husband was once kind and a good father, but their farm has been suffering lately, and where he was once loving, he has become abusive, drinks heavily, and spends what gold they do have spare at a brothel. The old lady says she fears for her daughter and grandchildren's lives, for they often bear bruises inflicted by the father. She has tried everything, but he is friendly with the guards so they won't help, and her daughter is too scared to leave. She says that the last resort to save her family is to remove the son-in-law from their lives. Though their farm is struggling and gold is scarce, the son-in-law does own an expensive heirloom that he refuses to sell that can act as payment and make the murder look like a robbery. The old lady asks to make sure that you're not seen and not to make contact with the daughter under any circumstances. You think this over, but ultimately choose to accept the job to ensure the safety of the family. You travel to the farm not far from town and enter the farmhouse at night. The husband is upstairs asleep as the mother is downstairs reading to the children. The house isn't what you expected though. The furnishings look to be well made and costly, the shelves are stocked with books and ornaments, and there is nothing to suggest the family had fallen on hard times. Come to think of it, the crops in the field outside looked plentiful as well, but nevertheless you creep upstairs and into the master bedroom, unsheath your blade and kill the husband as he sleeps. He dies quietly. You notice the bedside table, which could contain the heirloom. Inside is a gold diamond ring, as well as a few loose coins, some clothing and a letter. You read the contents of the letter and realise that your suspicions were right. A love letter from the wife, full of affection for her husband and boasts of how lucky she is to have such a kind man as the father of her children. Could it be that you were lied to? You take the letter and sneak out of the farm and run back to town. You burst into the old lady's house to demand an explanation, but she is not alone. A man in a robe as black as death itself is stood in the corner, and leaning against the wall is a hulking orc wearing black leather armour. The old woman is sat at the table as if waiting on your return. She asks if the job was done. You say yes and show her the letter you found. She laughs to herself but apologises for lying to you. She says that the man you killed wasn't her son-in-law at all. He was merely a name whispered from one ear to another until it reached your own. His true crimes are unknown, if they exist at all, but a contract is a contract. She asks if you know who they are yet. You had heard their name whispered by nefarious individuals, a name spat out like venom by those with honour, a name that strikes fear into the heart of nobles, the Dark Brotherhood. The man in the black robe approaches you, congratulating you on passing the initiation, but now you know too much to back out. You carried out the deed, and now you must join them. The choice is simple: meet them at their hidden sanctuary within a week, or face their wrath. Or take your fate into your own hands. Tell the assassins that you will not join their death cult, maybe even going so far to slay them where they stand. The repercussions may prove deadly, but you are willing to take your chances. And who knows, maybe there are people out there who want to see the Dark Brotherhood destroyed as well. Now obviously, this is purely fanfiction, but the goal I was trying to achieve was to make the Dark Brotherhood feel like a guild of assassins who operate in the shadows. Their recruitment is subtle, and they only reveal their true selves once they feel the player character can be trusted. By hiding the recruitment quest behind a small side quest, and having to speak to a specific NPC afterwards who doesn't approach you outright, makes the questline feel all the more hidden and mysterious, like a guild of assassins should. There is no way to trigger it accidentally like in Oblivion, and unlike Skyrim, it isn't blatantly obvious on how to join, because the questline is obscured, but only so far as going out of your way to interact with a specific NPC after completing a minor side quest. There could also be another questline which is to destroy the Dark Brotherhood. Skyrim had a quest similar to this, but it isn't very fleshed out. But there is lots of opportunity here, as many people would have reason to want the Dark Brotherhood gone. It could be a group of family and friends of victims who have joined together to take revenge for the death of their loved ones. Or maybe the vigilance of Stendar, as I cannot imagine them being too happy with the death cult operating freely. They could task you with working undercover to take out the Dark Brotherhood, but perhaps partway through the quest there is an opportunity to turn cloak and defect to the Brotherhood if you so wished. But regardless of what happens in Elder Scrolls 6, a Dark Brotherhood questline is almost a given, and I look forward to playing it to see how it turns out. If you made it this far, then thanks for watching. I'm thinking of making a similar video for the Thieves Guild, so if you liked this one and want to see the next one, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks again for watching, hopefully I'll see you next time.